consider the items. Okay, so in some case your model is super complicated. Alright, it will be very difficult for you to make it significant with all of the items inside that. Okay, so in this case, you can opt to the observation models. So observation model is that the mean construct, you only consider the mean construct after you delete all of the items after the reliability and validity. Okay, so we will do it once, the observable model. Okay, so observable is the box and unobservable is the ellipse. Okay, so we're doing the observables. So here we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So you draw it in the way that you like. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here, here, and here. Okay. No, this, this. Yes. All right. So the next step will be the same. That you drag in the items. So in here we have AFF, HGCs, and then SIT, or we miss another one. Here, SIT here. So SIT here, and then SciCap here, and then voice here. Okay. So we also have new. Okay, this one. Okay. Is it the one that we use it? Oh wait, sorry, I didn't save the data. I have to save the data here first for them to save it in. Okay, I save it. And then open the file again. Yeah, I do exactly what I told you to not do. Here is it. So we will have AFF execute. Okay, so we draw the arrow. Remember, because now we care about the predictable effect, so it will be the one hand arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so remember what I told you earlier, the rule of thumb of the one hand arrow? Where the hand arrow leads to, you have to have what?
Residual.
Right, the arrow residues. So where should it be? Here, right? And here. So remember, always draw it, because if you forget, it cannot run. Alright, so this is the most simplest, not yet. We still have another thing, is that because all of them are independent variable in this statistical model, so you have to draw the covariant, okay? Sometimes you have to draw all of them, okay? And sometimes you only need to draw the main one, okay? But let's draw all of them in this case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw covariant like this, okay? Yeah. Oh my God. Name unobservables. All right, I hope we are ready. Okay, so if you want to consider control variables inside, you will draw another group of observable. Also, here we have tree, right? You will draw another tree right here, and they also should connect to each other covariant like this, and all of them should lead to leave it. Okay, but in this case, to simplify it, I will not draw it here. All right, so let's try. Okay, so it looks like everything is run smoothly. Let's see the result. First, p-values is not significant, really very bad. Okay, so the Chinese way or degree of freedom, the Chinese way is smaller than degree of freedom with the unacceptable, with the worst, okay? And the model fit is CFA1 is this is not mean it's perfect. Because it's too bad. This is worst, okay, the worst case possible, yeah, because I randomly make it, okay? So, yeah, because the p-value is not and all of the model fit is not good, so we cannot consider this result reliable. Okay, although one of them are significant. Okay, so yes, sometimes it is like that, and we cannot do anything to help. Okay, so what should I do if my model come out like this and I don't have anything else to connect? Because this one we don't have item, right? So what should I do? First, I will go back to the observable latent model. Go back to the latent model with all of the item. Hoping that with the item I can try to make it better a little bit. Second method is that I change another technique. Okay, so I know that SEM do not work for my model, so maybe I want to test regression or bootstrapping. Okay, third one is that, for example, like try to change my model. Yeah, try to change your model. If, for example, like master student, you have limited time, you cannot collect data again. Okay, so maybe you have to think about maybe try to change your model. Okay, if you still have time, maybe you can think about, for example, like collect more data, so that you will have more space to change it. Okay, so this is for the observable. So let's try the latent model. So to save the time, each of the construct I only will pick 3 items, okay? But actually they have more than that. And side tab of the tree and row of the tree. For the 2 interaction term, because we generate it doesn't have items, so we will use the false. SIT of the 3 item. And here, use the false. The false. Okay. So I will only pick 3 items for each of them. Okay, and then side tab. And then SIT. One, two, three, and then voice. One, two, three, and then the 2 interaction term. Okay, so next one, remember to name it something different. Okay. require tableau. They require normally for the independent variables like that, they require we to do all of the correlation, okay? Sometimes it will affect on your result, so make sure to check that. Okay, so it seems like we can run it, no problem. Let's see the result. Okay, not good. Okay, so it totally doesn't work. Let me try some other thing, try to save it. Okay, run it again. Okay, nothing can happen. Okay, so that means this model it doesn't work in the SEM. Okay, so in your case, when after you run it and you found out the result like that, you just report that it's not significant or the model is not good. Okay, so yes, so that is how we test the direct effect and also the moderation effect using the SEM. Okay, the strength of this technique SEM. Okay, when we learn some technique that we always know what is the usefulness of it so that you can choose it whenever you need to, okay? So SEM is strength what? For the path analysis of direct effect is very strong because it considers all of the items in that, and if you can make it significant, no one can argue with you. Okay, because you not only consider the mean aggregate, but you also consider the items, okay? So in some of the traditional researchers, they think that this is the best way to test the whole models, okay? But the weakness is what? The weakness is that because it tests everything at once, okay? So it's very difficult for you to get a complicated model to be significant. This, they already consider is a complicated one, okay? So this is the strength and also the weakness of the SEM, okay? All the technique, for example, like regression or bootstrapping, they will separate the model into many small parts, many different small parts, and they test it independently. Okay, so it may be easier for that kind of test to make it significant. Okay, it depends on what kind of research model and also the discipline that you are trying to submit a journal in. Then you select the right method. All right. The next one, the final basic hypothesis will be the mediation, and SEM cannot test it. Okay. So for module A, I think you still have another class, right? For module A, I think